Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. I know I haven't posted in a while, and that's because I just finished my first week of college, and before that I had 2 weeks of intro weeks. But I'm back. I'm kind of sick, but forget about that. There's more important stuff to be said, namely Death Perception got nerfed a little bit, but 300 more Ferocity while in Shroud, and Reaper's Onslaught permanent quickness, and you still have 300 increased Ferocity. So first we have 216% critical damage, and now we have 216. Like, look at this. And the quickness as well, and the auto attacks. I also tried this in World vs. World, and I even got like 10k Reaper auto attacks. It's insane how much damage this shit does. Look at it. What the fuck? So, the buffs are actually really insane. Reaper is even more fun to play now. Like, Reaper was in a decent state. It was okay. I had fun. And now I'm having even more fun. So, yeah, and thanks. I really appreciate it. This is fun, and I can make some fun videos, I guess. Well, yeah, that happened. I guess, yeah, let's go over the buffs real quick. Here I have a screenshot of them. First, Death Perception, of course, it did get nerfed. It did get nerfed. But we lost 17% critical chance increase while in Shroud, which isn't really that big of a deal. Like, if you have if you have Fury, you can easily hit that 100% in Shroud, and like also taking traits, for example, like Decimate Defenses or something, like it's alright. It's only 17%. The big buff is 300 extra Ferocity, which is huge. That's 20% critical damage. Like, that's a fair trade. I can take it. And especially in combination with the Reaper's Onslaught buffs, like, holy shit. Permanent quickness in Reaper Shroud. Like, Reaper Shroud was good, alright? The only thing holding it back was that the cast times were so fucking long. And now, well, Reaper Shroud quickness gives 50% an attack speed bonus. So, for example, the cast time for Executioner's Scythe is 1 second and a quarter of a second. And well, half of that, it's quick as fuck. Like, you could, of course, it's still dodgeable and it has a cast time, but it's so much better and everything is so much easier to land now. So, good buffs, and well, they got rid of the 15% attack speed bonus, but quickness is so much better. Like, of course, it can be corrupted or like Boon stripped, but 50% is like definitely 3 times as good as it was before. Well, yeah, so that happened, and then we have the Ritual of Life change. First, whenever you would drop a Well of Blood with the Ritual of Life trait equipped, it would res for 7% per second, I believe. And now it's 4%, so it's a small nerf, but it's still a good trait, and 4% is still quite something. You can still res people very quickly, so it's a minor nerf, but that's doable. And then last but not least, this is quite an important trait change as well. It's the buff to Gluttony. This is the minor trait in Soul Reaping, which first increased the amount of life force you would get from skills, and now whenever you gain life force, you also gain might. And this is pretty huge, especially when combined with the trait Blighter's Boon. So first, well, Blighter's Boon, for whoever doesn't know, you get 1% life force for every boon you get while you are out of Shroud, and you get healed for around 190 for every boon you get while you are in Shroud. But now, whenever you gain a boon, you gain life force via Blighter's Boon, and when you gain life force, you gain might from the trait Gluttony. And when you gain might from the trait Gluttony, you gain life force from the trait Blighter's Boon. And when you gain Blighter's Boon, when you get life force from the trait Blighter's Boon, you get might from Gluttony. Okay, well, that's how it should work, but there was actually a post about this on the forums that I read, which was pretty well explained, probably better than I can explain. There is a cap on it. I think it's either 1 or 2 times that this can loop. But still, whenever you gain life force, that means you're gonna get at least 2 might stacks and, well, like 2% life force plus whatever life force the first skill gave. So this is really insane. And this also counts for like other boons. For example, if you gain protection for spectral armor, you gain protection, which would grant you life force, which would grant you might, etc. So this was also quite a good change. So both Blighter's Boon and Reaper's Onslaught got buffed in a way. Well, Reaper's Onslaught definitely got buffed, but Blighter's Boon also got buffed by this small change, which makes it also a good trait. I don't know, especially for solo roaming. I've just been taking Reaper's Onslaught for the lulz, for the quickness, which is insane. But Blighter's Boon is an even better option than it was before, because you can get so much more life force, healing, and boons just because of the gluttony change. So I'm not sure which one is better at the moment, but either way, it's just a lot of fucking fun to play Reaper at the moment, because you can either choose to play a defensive, sustain-orientated build with Blighter's Boon and Gluttony, or you can just go YOLO, full damage, Reaper's Onslaught with quickness and so much ferocity. So, well, yeah, actually, I also made a word table. I usually don't do this, but like I wanted to get things straight for myself. But as you can see, before we had 50% crit in extra crit chance in Shroud, which this trait has been in the game for, I think, since launch, or at least somewhere since launch. Like, I never thought they would, like, this trait has been unchanged since, I think, at the beginning. So they changed it finally, I guess, and it's decent. It's a nice little buff, since now we get an extra 300 ferocity while only losing 17% crit chance in Shroud. And for Reaper's Onslaught, well, first we had 15% an attack speed bonus while in Shroud, but now we have 50% attack speed bonus while in Shroud because of quickness. So that makes it at least 3 times better. And of course, quickness is a boon, so it can be stripped and corrupted, but in my opinion, it's definitely worth it. Like, quickness on Reaper is just insanely good. Reaper Shroud, the skills are great, but the only thing holding it back was like, it's what's it called? It's very, I forgot the English word for it. Fuck. Like, you can predict what it's gonna do. It's not very. How do I forget the English word? What's it called? I'll probably just put it up on the screen when I remember it. But yeah, that and the cast times. They're just like the only thing bad about Reaper Shroud. But now that kind of got fixed. Like, you can use your Reaper Shroud 4 in like, instead of almost 3 seconds, just like 1.5 seconds. So that's pretty huge. And well, with Reaper's Onslaught, we also get an extra 300 ferocity while in Shroud. So in total, when you combine the new Death Perception and the new Reaper's Onslaught, you get an extra 40% critical damage in Shroud. Combine that with quickness and 100% crit chance, like that's like insta kill right there. And then last but not least, like, we still have the -2 seconds of the Shroud cooldowns whenever you hit the last part of the auto attack chain, which is very nice because especially now that it has quickness, so those cooldowns are gonna go down quick. So well, yeah, that happened. I really like those buffs. As for builds, at the moment in PvP, I think I don't know, Reaper is weird, and I think I play Reaper different. Like, I don't see a lot of people using my builds in PvP, at least I don't think so. But the build that I came up with at the moment, it still uses blood magic because you want some sort of utility and team support. So wait, let me get the build up real quick. It's Bitter Chill, Chill of Death, and still Spiteful Spirit, because Spiteful Spirit is just, it's an active skill, it's not passive, like Close to Death. So corrupting those boons, getting retaliation, and getting them crippled is a lot more important than just 20% damage, which is quite situational. Then we have Blood Magic, of course, Ritual of Life, which got nerfed, but it's still good. 4% revive percentage is very good. Vampiric Presence to help out your teammates, and Vampiric Rituals. Then we go to Reaper. We don't use Shouts. Which one was it? Oh, Chilling Nova, of course, for some more damage. Then we take Decimate Defenses and Reaper's Onslaught. Combine that. Oh, let me get my Zerker Amulet. Let's go Paladins. And then for the runes, you can take Holbrack, but what I like to do is Chronomancer, because with Chronomancer you get even more crit chance. Since, okay, we take Blood Magic instead of Soul Reaping, so we do lose we lose Gluttony and we lose Death Perception, so that's why we don't take Blighter's Boon. But we do gain well, a lot of team support and sustain, and since we do get Wells, we can take Ruin of the Chronomancer, which makes it that you get even more quickness. I don't know, it's a little bit overkill. In my opinion, I use Runes of Holbrack, since we don't have a lot of condition clear on this build, so I take minus 20% condition duration applied to you via the Runes of Holbrack. As for the skills, I would probably opt to go for something like this. Consume Conditions, Spectral Armor for Life Force, because that's the only thing this build is kind of meh on. It has weak Connie Clear and Life Force that I guess isn't very good. Like, it's very situational, it depends on hitting your skills. So Spectral Armor is a nice little boost to how much Life Force you have on this build. And then top that off by Well of Corruption and Well of Suffering for that area damage. Especially Well of Suffering is really good because it pulses Vulnerability. And Vulnerability via Decimate Defenses gives an extra 2% critical chance, and it pulses 4 stacks. 4 times 2 is 8, so every pulse means that you will have an extra 8% critical chance against that target, which is very nice, especially since we don't have Death Perception on this build. And then we take Axe, Warhorn with Agility, and I like to take Exposure, since you get 5 stacks of Vulnerability times 2 is an extra 10% critical chance for 5 seconds first on that target, which is very good. Then we have, of course, what's it called? Greatsword with Sigil of Annulment and Sigil of Energy, which are my preferences. I'll probably have some footage of this build up in the background. Well, this is what I think is like one of the best Reaper builds you can take at the moment. It has 1.6k toughness, 55% critical chance, which can be added up with which you can get more critical chance via Decimate Defenses and Fury and your teammates and whatever. And at the same time, you have some sort of sustain via all the siphons, and of course the wells. So well, yeah, that's my PvP build. Look, it's good. It's good, I think. Like, this is what I came up with, like, after testing out, because I haven't had much time to play Guild Wars yet, since I've been busy with college and stuff. But, like, the damage is insane, and the quickness and Shroud is really what makes this build. So that's my PvP build for now. Then, wait, I'm gonna go to World versus World real quick, and see, wait, I set up my build here as well. Oh yeah, like I said before, there are, before, in my opinion, the only good option was Blighter's Boon, because Blighter's Boon gave you sustain, and it gave you a way to survive in the fight. But now with the buffs to Reaper's Onslaught, like quickness, which is just insanely good, Reaper's Onslaught is definitely a viable option. It's what I'm taking right now, just for the lols, because the insta-kills that you get, it's way too funny. So, okay, this is the Reaper's Onslaught build. I don't know, my gear is all pretty the same as before. Like, definitely take Runes of Durability, that shit really helps. And then, of course, Axe, Warhorn, and I take Superior Sigil of Blood, but that should be Superior Sigil of Air. Right, I'm gonna change that real quick. So take a Air Sigil and Agility Sigil on Axe Warhorn, and take Energy and Bloodlust on Greatsword. Bloodlust is also kind of meh. I mean, I guess you could go for, what's it called? Yeah, wait, Energy, or did I already have Energy? I already had Energy. Oh, Sigil of Cleansing, or Sigil of Hydromancy, or Sigil of, well, one of those, I don't know. They're all pretty good. Wait, let me buy this Air Sigil. Yeah, you want to buy Sigil of Air instead of Sigil of Blood, because Sigil of Blood It does less damage than Sigil of Air, but that's because it also life siphons. But the life siphon doesn't go through Shroud, so it's better to just do more damage, like with Sigil of Air, than to do less damage with Sigil of Blood and not get the life siphon half of the time because you're in Shroud. So that's that. For the rest, just power. I got a little bit of, what's it called? Power, toughness, and ferocity. And after that, oh yeah, the build. Well, same in Spite. In Soul Reaping, definitely Speed of Shadows. Yeah, Fighter Persistence, and Death Perception for that increased ferocity. And then a Reaper, take Augury of Death since we're taking shouts now. And either Chilling Victory or Decimate Defenses. I don't know which one I prefer. Like, I really want more Life Force so that I just have enough Life Force whenever I go into Shroud. But Decimate Defense is also really good, especially, well, is it good? I don't know. Okay, wait, I have 50, wait, no, this is with the buff. I have like 50% critical chance out of Shroud, which means like 83% chance in Shroud, which means I'm missing 17% critical chance, which means that I need at least 8 stacks of vulnerability to like hit 100% almost. So yeah, I think most of the time I have 8 stacks of vulnerability on them. I don't know. But yeah, Chilling Victory or Decimate Defense. I think I prefer Chilling Victory, I think, just because of the Life Force and more might. And then last but not least, of course, Reaper's Onslaught, since it's just fucking amazing. Wait, is there anybody here? Alright, let me get this sentry real quick. Like, the damage is just so fun to look at, and you kill everything so quickly, like, and he's dead. 17k Shroud 4, like, that's pretty insane. Okay, so this is my build for Reaper's Onslaught, but at the same time, like I said before, Blighter's Boon also got buffed because of the Gluttony change. So if you want to go with Blighter's Boons as Blighter's Boon, as in a more sustain type build with more healing, and which is probably better in Outnumbered. I don't know, depends on the situation and the enemies. You want to go for like the same shit, but with like double strength sigils, so that you can get even more boons, and thus even more life force and healing. And then, well, the rest should stay the same. But the only thing you change is your sigils, and instead, well, oh yeah, for Reaper's Onslaught, I would take the, what's it called? I think it's called Truffle. Oh yeah, the Truffle Food, which gives 100 precision. But instead of the Truffle Food, in the Reaper's Onslaught build, you would take 53 fried golden dumplings in the Blighter's Boon build, because it gives might stacks on critical hits, which is very good. So the difference between the two builds is the sigils, which should be strength sigils in the Blighter's Boon build, and the food, which should be fried golden dumplings in the Blighter's Boon build. But other than that, they're pretty much the same. I don't know which one I prefer. For now, I'm just gonna roam with the, what's it called? The truffle food. I mean the Reaper's Onslaught build, and the potent superior sharpening stones, because this is just max damage. Like, wait, is there an enemy here? Oh, it was an enemy. Oh. Okay, whatever. Because I have 1.5k toughness and world first roll, and like 50% critical chance, 200% critical damage. So it's just so good, and like going into Shroud and killing everything is just amazing. Okay, someone just rang my doorbell. That was it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you found any good builds. I'll see you guys later. Bye.